Where's the rage? Well, the election's over. Amazing how we don't hear anything about Ebola anymore. This horrible Ebola thing that was coming because the president was president. Well, Ebola, we're safe now. The election is over. Also on ISIS, we barely hear anything, though we did hear today, Sunday, about the beheading of another American, supposedly. We'll find out if it's true. You never know with ISIS if they're real or not. But ISIS, we keep bombing, they keep moving. It's a bing, 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 bing. And as I said, it looks like the countries in that region aren't really as obsessed with them as we are. But that's a whole where's the rage on our allies in this war against ISIS. The other thing in the news is that it seems that after the election, there's all this confrontation with the president now. Supposedly, we were not going to have that, but now the language the president's going to veto, they're going to stop it, they're going to impeach him, and it's the usual marriage that hates each other. So we'll see on that. The other things on the news is that space is hopeful. The European Space Agency was able to land a probe, a little tiny ship, on a moving asteroid. For those who are not aware, that piece of rock is moving at 80,000 miles per hour. My car doesn't go close to that, sadly to say. And they were able to land this. Now, because it bounced, the harpoons were not able to hold it in place. It's in the shade, and so now the information is compromised. Hopefully, at some point, in 6 months or so, there's a good chance that this rock will move by the sun, or where there's enough sunlight where the panels will charge and give information to us on what's going on that rock. Hopefully, it will not transmit pictures or photos of Kardashians behind. Let's cross our fingers. That's kind of funny, right? With all the news that's news, this is the big thing everyone's talking about. Don't get it. So much going on in the world. The bad news out there is the allegations against Bill Cosby. That's very, very sad. If that turns out to be true, it's going to break a lot of people's heart because he's been like a father figure, the old wise man, the intelligent, the father figure. That whole thing will be bust. He will be seen as a sexual predator, and that will break our hearts if that story turns out to be true. Hopefully it will not. But he's not talking, which is not good, and more people are coming out of the woodwork, and that's not good either. For all of you who follow Where's the Rage, we are now sort of like a video blog on www.firstcoast.tv. You can see it right down here. If you go to www, yes, 3Ws, firstcoast.tv, not com, but TV, you're going to see a wonderful website with tons and tons of news of our area, which are St. Johns County. We did cover a story out in Duval, which was the Right Whale Festival, because it was connected somehow with the seismic testing, against seismic testing rally that was held in St. Johns County. We're along the east coast of Florida, the northeast, big area for tourists. So please check out our website, like it, subscribe, do what you want to do. But it is a wonderful website. I highly recommend it. And that's the news that's news on cool websites out there. Another thing is, talking about that probe I was talking about, I'm going to go see that movie Interstellar. They say it's quite good. I like science fiction because science fiction to me is like a crystal ball where I can see the future. The issue in the future will not be exactly that, usually not, but something similar to that. And we have to learn how to deal with that. whether our oceans go up, whether a meteorite comes from space to knock us out of orbit, whether there's not enough food on the planet, too much water, not enough water, all the issues we deal with, killer virus killing lots of people. We see movies like that, but sometimes movies are almost like our inner subconscious seeing the future. It's very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. Many times have you seen a movie? I remember seeing A State of Siege or something with Denzel before 9/11, and sure enough, the 9/11 event, which was much more horrific than the movie with Denzel Washington and Benning was in it, Willis was in it. Uh, um, yeah, a lot of good actors were in it. Bruce Willis was in it. Um, so you never know. You never know. On immigration, the big thing that upsets me on immigration is that the Republicans are getting ready to really make a lot of Hispanics angry. Also, a lot of churches that reach out to a lot of these undocumented people who are leaving areas of Latin America that are war zones. The United States has always ignored Latin America, always. The only time we've gone in there is when there's a dictator that is seen to be friendly to our enemies. Then we go in with Contras, or we deal with Chavez, or the Colombia is about to fall to narcos. We go in, and it seems that that is our history with Latin America, from Trujillo and before. A United Fruit Company. It goes on and on and on and on, and it's kind of sad. What does the United States get out of Central America? Lots and lots of drugs, because in the United States we are illegal drug dependent. It's been like that for decades and decades and decades, whether it's pot, whether it's cocaine, heroin, you name it. The other thing we've gotten out of Latin America is a huge, huge amount of money through those drugs that is then laundered in our banks to build huge real estate projects in all sort of sectors and invested in many, many different ways. That's the truth. The third thing we get out of Latin America is a huge workers' pool. Lots and lots and lots of people who come across the border and end up working for very little money, building roads, in the construction private sector, in many, 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 many ways. It's always funny when a politician is against immigration and they find out that suddenly she's had a maid or a nanny for years, knowing that she's illegal working for her. I love it. It's a wonderful story. It's the hypocrisy of the issues dealing with Latin America. So, my thing is, why don't we do something about it? Borders are not secure because the powers that be don't want those borders secure. We can secure the border almost everywhere else in the world except our own, because there are interests at play. So let's be frank about the issue. Let's start pretending they came from another planet. The invasion of the body snatchers. It is not. So please, please, stop it. Stop it. So that's my thing. Let's get immigration reform. Reagan did what he had to do. Let's do what we have to do now and move on. So remember, go to www.firstcoast.tv. It's live. It's up there. And if you have any questions or you have any comments, where is the rage at firstcoast.tv is a wonderful email. Have a wonderful time. And that's the news today.